Okaeri nasai minasan and Merry Christmas. Today we're gonna talk about Kamen Rider Geats episode 16. Am watching this video and I'm recording this video in Singapore. As you guys can see, this is Singapore. This is not my usual room, so I'm on holiday, but I couldn't resist. But to watch the episode, and it is insane. Okay, very, very insane episode because Geats did it once again. I think like he didn't do anything in this episode. Like he's kind of like the one that he is being saved by both Kewa and Neon at the same time. Without Neon and Kewa, Ace would have been defeated by Giroli for sure. Okay, there's no chance for them to win against Giroli, and the only way for them to defeat Giroli is Niram, the game producer, stepping into the game itself and stopping Giroli on his track. So in this video, we're gonna ask a few questions, but at the same time, hopefully I can give some theory on some question as well. So the first one is the game. The game is called Fox Hunt. It is to hunt and defeat Geats. That is the game that they play in this episode. And I honestly speaking, Giroli is sleeping up. I think he got too nervous. He got too anxious. If he actually just play it cool and just manipulate things behind the scene and all those stuff, I would say it will definitely play into his favor, but he didn't do that. He loses his cool, just like what Niram said, and he paid the consequences. He got deleted. So where was he being sent to? And we actually see Giroli before he leave. He actually says something really, really interesting. He said that, hey, the Jyamato is continuing to evolve. Like, what are you gonna do without me? But Niram says something very, very amazing, which is, hey, you are very, very replaceable. So next week, new season of the DGP, we're gonna get a new game master itself. This is insane. Okay, very, very insane stuff. But I really, really love this episode. Part of the reason is because before we actually have the final big fight, the final review and all that stuff, they have a little bit of quiet time. They went back home and they actually have a rest. Kewa talking to the sister. I think that scene is like perfect, very, very amazing. And then for as having a little bit of quiet time with Sumari, and dude, I love Sumari because she is true to her belief. She believed that the DGP should be fair and just, and she believed that if she betrayed the Game Master and she went and helped S, despite knowing that there is a possibility that she could actually be deleted or being how do I say, demoted or something like that. We are not sure what can happen to Sumuri itself, but this close encounter with Sumuri and S also give me an idea of what we saw in the opening song when we see S and Sumuri, you know, like they are standing under the rain and Sumuri pointed the magnum gun onto the face of S. It almost made me think that maybe at the end of the day, Sumuri could actually be mind controlled by someone using a similar driver like Giroli and kind of like mind control Sumuri and causes her to turn on S and something like that. That could actually be a possibility. We are not sure, okay? But this episode, speaking of S, we also got a little bit of very, very interesting stuff. In this episode, we learn the reason why S wants to find the mother, because all this while we know S wants to find the mother, but we do not know why. We always thought that maybe, hey, you know, like the mother, like he just wanted the family, he just wanted to reconnect with the lost one in his life, something like that. But in this episode, we learn that he wants to find out like why is someone like him being born? Like what does this mean? You know, like what does this mean? I'm actually thinking, is S actually a product of a wish itself? Just think about it, because the DGP is really, really powerful. He can grant you a lot of wishes, and it actually makes me think like whether or not if Mitsune, the mother of S, wishes for a son, the strongest son and the strongest player in the DGP, something like that, could that be possible? Could that Like, is he kind of like like how they say that, the prodigal son or something like that, like the son like born of Virgin Mary, something like that. Maybe that is a possibility. I'm just throwing it out there, but we don't have any information whatsoever, because the way S say and ask the question like, why am I being born, really give me the idea that, hey, maybe that S is not normal human being itself. Okay, maybe he was born under the wish of the DGP itself, and that is really interesting. Okay, so obviously Neon is the MVP of the episode, because without Neon, Kewa couldn't do anything to Giroli, because Neon is the one that told the father, hey, do you know about the fox hunt? What do you think about the fox hunt? And they actually invited the game producer into the arena itself and show us that, hey, the game master is actively trying to sabotage the player itself. And let me tell you, when they, at the end of the video itself, when they revealed the DGP to be a reality rider show, my mind is legit blown. I felt like this is something we already know. We already speculated that this is gonna be something like Squid Game. There's gonna be a lot of VIPs, a lot of sponsors that is actually watching the DGP itself. And when we actually saw this, it really blows my mind, okay? Because one of the most interesting plot you can see from a reality TV show is the game master losing control as well. You know, when we see the game master is actively trying to manipulate the situation and all the stuff, that is what gets the audience like a little bit of hype, a little bit of tension, and a little bit of hate. Okay, if you give someone something to hate in a show, they're gonna be committed to the show because they hate the character so much, they want to see the character die, something like that. Okay, so that is something really amazing. But since we have reached until the game producer, we have reached until the very end of the video already, we need to talk about Niram. Like, who is Niram, or should I say, what is Niram? Because Niram is really interesting. The father of Kurama, the father of Neon, actually said something really interesting. He said that, I quote straightly, he said something, your extra dimensional war is very interesting. I was like, this makes a lot of sense, because if you really think about it, the ability to reconstruct the world, to just create a world where wishes actually come true, sounds a little bit too OP, too overpowered if you really think about it. And this extra dimensional war stuff really makes me think that, hey, they like, it's almost like a pocket dimension. Okay, it is not the real world that they are actually in. It's like, just imagine an MMORPG, like a virtual world, something like that, the metaverse, if you even want to call that. So this is really interesting. But this show, Kamen Rider Geats, is opening up the rider world to a lot of possibilities, because in the future we are gonna look at a new character that's gonna get introduced, which is a frog. A frog is gonna be one of the character in Kamen Rider Geats. How crazy is that? And now that we know that the DGP is a reality rider show, and it is like being viewed by so many audience, I would assume by so many different pocket dimension, from different people all over the universe, or all over different dimension itself, it actually gave me the idea that, hey, you know, remember the Kitsune and the Tanuki theory of how they are yokai and all those stuff? What if there is a dimension full of yokais? Okay, like what they are really playing into the idea of like kind of like the mirror dimension. And speaking of mirror dimension, Kamen Rider Ryuki is from the mirror dimension, and we know that they are gonna have a crossover in the movie itself, Kamen Rider Geats X Revised movie Battle Royale. So I felt like they are really playing into the idea of the dimension stuff, and then we might actually get a yokai dimension. How crazy is that? That is so crazy. I can't wait to see that happen. Okay, like if that really happened, that's gonna be really insane. one thing I forget to add on is Azuma is not actually dead in this episode. How crazy is that? All of us thought that he has died. The usual, the anniversary of Christmas death in Kamen Rider series is gonna continue every single year, but no, Yuya Takahashi decided to break that cycle. He said that, hey, why not I do something creative? What if I show Azuma died? But not really, something like that. Okay, so Azuma is not dead, but it will also mean that he's not gonna make an appearance immediately. We have news that he's going on tour with his boy band, and maybe that is the reason why they had to write him outside of the story or something like that. Or maybe that is part of the plan in the first place. You know, like he purposely planned his tour together with his missing appearance in the next few episodes of Kamen Rider Geats. Because one thing I know for sure is that Azuma is gonna return, and he's gonna return even stronger now that he is together with the Jyamato breeder. The Jyamato breeder wants to destroy the rider, and Azuma wants to destroy the rider as well. So both of them, the strongest people that wants to destroy the rider, are now together. We are definitely gonna see Buffa having a little bit of power boost. We are not sure how much of a power boost and how much of personality and memory or humanity Azuma still have left before the breeder actually start to manipulate him into a Jyamato itself. This is gonna be real fun, and I can't wait to see what is his future. Let me go back to my old self. But that is all from me. I felt like there's a lot more for us to give theory about this episode. But lastly, before I leave, I just want to say Merry Christmas once again to all of you guys. It has been a wonderful 1 year time with all of you. And if you haven't subscribed, this will be an amazing time to give me a present of your subscription. So that is all from me. Hope you enjoy. I'll be seeing you guys in the next one. Goodbye.